Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life you absolutely love. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Amy is out today, so we're going to be talking with a woman who owns a business right here in Wenatchee. And the reason I invited her on the show is because I read a recent article about her and something caught my eye. I read that she was into personal development, and well, you know that I'm passionate about that, so I wanted to find out what difference that it had made in her business and in her life. So later on after the break, we'll be talking with Michele Stuzman from Cleaning Below the Surface. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that if you have questions that you would like us to answer on or off the air, you can email them directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. You don't need to suffer. There are answers and solutions and ways to get unstuck and move forward powerfully. So let's get to today's email. It says, "Hi Fletcher, I want to make a change in my life, but I'm not sure how to do it. I went to your website and I took the happiness quotient quiz that you offer, and the results showed that I'm not really a very happy person. And here's the thing, that's pretty much accurate. I'm 41 years old, and for the past decade, I have to say that while there hasn't been any major drama in my life, I just don't feel excited about life. I don't feel happy. I look at life and it seems dangerous and unpredictable. You have to be careful because you never know who you can trust, so you just have to look out for number one. But the thing about that is, it just doesn't feel good, and it's kind of exhausting. And I've realized that I've become more and more closed off. I want to change, but not sure how. So what do you suggest?" Signed, TS. All right. TS, thanks for reaching out. Reaching out is a sign of strength, which means that you're strong. And I want to acknowledge you for your vulnerability. It takes courage to reach out and share like that. I want you to know also that a lot of people feel exactly the way you do. It's very common. So let's get into this because I want you to start feeling good. I want you to feel so good that you just go around smiling for no apparent reason. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, there's a simple way to get there. But first, I want to suggest that there are a couple ways of looking at life. You see, we all have filters through which we view life. And how we feel and how we engage life depends very much upon the filter we're looking through. You stated that life seems dangerous and unpredictable and that you don't know who you can trust. So that's a pretty clear indication that you're looking through the filter of fear. And when you're looking through the filter of fear, it really does seem like the world is out to get you. You can't trust anyone. Failure is inevitable. You have to be on your guard. Danger is everywhere. And guess what? You're probably going to get hurt. And that simply doesn't feel good. It doesn't promote engagement. What it promotes actually is isolation and self-protection. You see, it suspects everyone and everything of being a potential threat to you. And here's the thing, whatever you focus on, you feel. And whatever you focus on expands. So when you focus on things that seem fearful, you feel fearful. And the more you focus on them, the more that fear grows, expands, and ultimately you make decisions that are based on that fear. But there's another filter that we can look through life through, and that filter is faith. I don't mean a religious faith, but faith nonetheless. The faith filter says, life always works out for me. There's always something for me to learn. Everything that happens to me will ultimately add to my life, even if I don't understand how, or even though I can't see it in this moment right now. And if I do get hurt, I'm going to heal, and I'll be stronger for it, and I'll get back in the game of life because life feels good. In fact, good things are lined up, stacked up, and showing up for me daily. Good things are lined up, stacked up, and showing up for me daily. Now that's a different way of going through life, isn't it? Now, TS, I want you to hear this next part. Really listen to me, because the only reason you're stuck looking through the filter of fear is because you're extremely practiced at it. It's a habit. And a habit is something that the body or mind does without you even having to think about it. You're so practiced at this way of looking at life that it's easy. So what there is to do is to begin to interrupt this pattern. And I'll tell you what I do in my personal life that works for me. Almost every morning, I get up, I have my tea, which tastes good and feels good. I sit down and I make a list of things for which I'm grateful. I'll give you an example. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my mobility, for my wife, the warm house I have. I'm grateful for my cat who snuggles up with me as I have my tea and write my gratitudes. I'm grateful for my business and for my family and my friends with whom I share a wonderful connection. I'm grateful for exercise and our finances, yummy, healthy food, and the mountains and the sun and the snow and my challenges and the lessons I learned, and for progress, and on and on and on. I write a list almost every morning that reminds me of how darn good I actually have it. And it feels good. And I've made this a practice. I focus on what's going well and what feels good, because what you focus on, you feel. What you focus on expands, and ultimately what you focus on, you manifest in your life. So now the question for you is, will you take on a new practice? Will you interrupt your old pattern and embrace viewing life through a new filter? Sure, it's going to feel awkward at first. It might feel contrived, but do it anyway. This is your life. Live it in a way that feels good. I know you can do this, TS, and I believe in you. All right, stick around. We'll be right back to talk with Michele Stuzman from Cleaning Below the Surface. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We are here talking today with someone who lives right here in Wenatchee and operates a business that's actually called Below the Surface Cleaning. Yes? All right. So Below the Surface Cleaning, we're talking with Michele Stuzman. I almost called you Mary. I got Mary on my mind for some reason. Michele Stuzman from Below the Surface Cleaning. So welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Good, good. All right, so I got a few questions. First of all, for our viewers, tell us, what type of business is this?
Below the Surface Cleaning encompasses not just every other week cleanings for clients, but we also have small offices that we do. Mm-hmm. We've done new construction, remodel cleanings. So we kind of have a plethora, move out, move ins, kind of depending. And if it's a good fit, when I do a walkthrough with a client to, see if it's one we want to take on and if they want to give us a try.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So when did you start this?
Actually, we're going into our 5th year.
All right.
It's crazy cool. So we actually...
You've already beat the odds then.
I know.
Right? Because most businesses fail before that.
Right.
So you were like, boom, you got it.
We got it.
Traction.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, so going into the 5th year, and right now I have a business partner, but she has moved to Tennessee for an opportunity to be around some family that she's just found after her whole life. She just found them 3 years ago. So anyways, I'm now running the business kind of soulfully, but I have amazing ladies that work for me.
Wonderful.
And with me on my team, so I feel really, really blessed.
Well, that makes a big difference, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, when you have people, a team that you can work well with together, makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
Now, before this, you have a background in personal training. So what led you to open up your own cleaning business?
Well, sometimes life takes a turn, right? Being in the Valley for ever and ever, fitness was my first love and is still one of my first loves. Started back in 1982. Mm-hmm. And after about 30 so years, just an opportunity came up, and my business partner and I were going through some personal changes in our life. And what's interesting is, as working in the fitness industry and that on the side, I did a few houses that I cleaned. I actually really like to clean. It's very therapeutic. And she herself had done some cleaning, even though she's been an entrepreneur forever and ever with coffee shops in the area. And yeah, we kind of just had an opportunity to decide to do something together. And we're both like, what about cleaning? Well, the cleaning is because we were both knew how to do it and we're both really good at it. It was an opportunity for me to be able to work for myself, which is really cool. Yeah. But that was just kind of the platform of really what we want to do, and that's inspiring other women. Mm-hmm. And so we've had the fortune of hiring women that maybe down on their luck a little bit and needs a start and someone to believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the biggest reason, is to be able to inspire other women.
I love it. So you took something that you had an interest in, that you're good at, and realized this can also be a source of contribution to other people's lives.
Yep,
I love
absolutely.
that, right?
Yeah.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
Cool. And what do you enjoy about running your own business?
What don't you love? I love the everyday grind. Even when I was in the fitness industry, it wasn't an 8-to-5 job. I was the fitness director. I taught classes. I filled in with my instructors whenever they needed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything within the club that needed somebody to fill in, I jumped in wherever it was. So it was into the bookkeeping, cleaning, repairing. I repaired equipment. I did everything. So having that opportunity to do that at such a young age, because I was in my 20s when I began at the Wenatchee Racket Athletic Club, and I had amazing opportunities to learn a lot of different things. So working 8-to-5 was not really, even though I had done that and I realized I really didn't like that. I just like the grind. I like what might come up every day or what doesn't come up every day, the challenges, the changes, the touching of the clients, all of it. There's nothing I haven't done that I really don't like.
Sounds like you enjoy variety and challenges, huh?
Variety, challenge, and when you're doing something that you're passionate about, and it's not just about the cleaning, but it's doing things for myself and for my team.
Yeah.
That's passion, that's inspiration, and to me, I'm never feeling like I'm working.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great feeling.
Right.
Yeah, you're very fortunate.
I know.
That's so cool. So tell me, we're going to talk for a couple more minutes and we'll go to a commercial break, but I want to hear you, the article that I read mentioned that you suddenly got interested in personal development very intentionally, and
Yes.
tell me a little bit about that and the effect that that's had on your life and your business.
Well, a year prior to us starting this business, Kristen and I met because I had gone through a couple hellacious life changes at one time that could have taken me under, or I could make a decision that I wasn't going to let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I chose the latter, and I started just immersing myself in everything I could find. At the time, it was Tony Robbins was kind of what popped out. I don't even know how and why.
Fellow firewalker.
Woo!
Yeah.
Fellow. Oh, I've done it twice
Yeah,
too.
right on.
Yes. I'm going to do it a third here, hopefully in March too. So, and then I met Kristen, and it just kind of evolved for about a year before we actually started the business, and then it's continued because, you know, as you were speaking to TS on the email, it's about immersement. And if you don't know where to start, you just start. You just start with one thing, like maybe just gratitude or that, but it's just become my daily routine to make myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And that means just getting ready to set my day. Anyway, so self-development is truly living the life that I have dreamt about for my whole life. And I feel like, it's just such now of a part of me that I can't imagine not starting my days with my intentions.
Yeah. And how did that make it? What difference has that made for your business?
Well, I believe one of the sayings they say is you're only as strong as your weakest link. But at the so-called top, if I'm not the one that is making the strides and the directions into facing fears or challenges or just bettering myself internally, because it's not just externally, which I know all about that for 30 plus years, I think that that's what's helping the business to stay afloat after 4+ years, and we're going into our 5th year, is that constant just immersing myself in wanting to be the best person I can be.
I love it. Yeah. And personal development doesn't mean that there aren't challenges or even days when you feel like crap, but it means that you have some incredibly powerful tools to help you move through those times and so you are stuck for less time, right?
Absolutely. Just to play off of that, because everybody has challenges in their life, and it is how you face them. A year and a half ago today, which is my sister's birthday, today, she passed away very unexpectedly. She was my best friend, someone I counted on deeply. I truly believe if I didn't have those 4 years under my belt of self-development and being able to learn how to work through challenges, wow, I think this would probably take me under. But instead, it's given me a strength to persevere and work my face off even more. I mean, as Gary Vee says, work your face off, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's become a driving force, and I'm grateful for the self-development that I've done, to be prepared for every single challenge, because everybody's going to have them, you guys.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're going to have challenges. There's no way around it. And it's okay, because find ways to get those tools, like Fletcher's teaching you guys, because there's just no way to get through those without it.
Yeah, they make the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. I love this conversation, so we're going to come back for more. Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to Live It Up. We are here with Michele Stuzman from Below the Surface Cleaning. We're talking about personal development and what that, how that affects your, not only your personal life, but in your business. And so my next question to you is, what would you say to other entrepreneurs or people working for themselves, or even in just a regular job as well? What's the value of getting in, bringing that into your workplace?
The value that I've found is that it allows me to be authentically who I am. I get to be me, regardless if I'm at home or not, or at work or not. And I think the value of that is we don't have to turn on and off who we think we're supposed to be as to who we are.
I love it. So you show up authentically in your personal life and when you go to the office or go to the job or wherever.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and how does that feel?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing to get to be who you are, and also just knowing and believing that and having faith, as you said earlier, you don't really have to worry what others think about you. You know, you really can't. You have to know that if you're being authentic and true and real and you're coming from a place of love, as I say, then the right people are going to come into your life. And you're going to influence the people that need what you have to offer.
Yeah, and you'll be open to whatever they may have to offer, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. So as an entrepreneur, you have a lot of demands on your time. So what do you do personally to decompress or recharge?
That's a really great question, because I can't say prior to the self-development I thought I understood what that was, but diving in and really immersing myself into it, it's become a daily routine for me. I never really thought of myself as an early morning or as a late night person. I could just get up whenever, but I would get up and I'd just get dressed and I'd go to work and right? But getting into self-development, one of the things that so-called successful people, and I don't mean just monetarily, you know, in all aspects of life, the one thing that they do are morning rituals, per se. Meditation, whatever that might look like, for me, I call it my morning intentions to set my day to get ready. So honestly, sometimes I'm up an hour before I have to be someplace, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's no less than a half hour, no less. So that I have that time to where I listen to amazing stuff on YouTube that's all different, from Gary Vee to Will Smith, you know, for that matter, or Mel Robbins or whoever. But so setting my morning intentions, and you were talking about writing gratitude. Gratitude is amazing, just even writing 3 things. So I have my gratitude book that I write in. Again, I so-called meditate the way that I meditate, because it's a hard one for me to sit still. So I can. But learning how to go within, that to me is my meditation, is being able to connect to self within. And then also, probably the biggest piece for me is going to the beach. I
cool.
have to put my feet in the sand That is a way I recharge and refuel, is getting my feet in the sand and be able to really connect to the earth, you know, in a sense, but listening to the waves and the ebb and flow and finding treasures on the beach, that's refueling.
And where do you like to go?
Well, right now my son's in Southern California, which I was living there for a while, part-time. So I get to go down to Huntington Beach.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, we have, my in-laws are down in LA, so we go down there not infrequently, so same thing. Always got to take a day to go to the beach as well.
You have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, you know, maybe it's outdoors, maybe it's out in the woods for some, but find that place because it can really be magical for recharging.
So let me see what we're out on time. Good. So I want to ask another question just because I think it's interesting sometimes to hear people's answers on this, but has there ever been a time in your life that you thought you were absolutely right about something and you acted out of that rightness, and then later on something happened and you're like, oh my gosh, I was 100% completely wrong about that? Anything?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, really, who hasn't? However, looking at those situations that come up or choices I may have made or decided to do, I now take those as not mistakes, but lessons to be learned and things to take away from it that bring something positive. I will look at every situation and find what's positive out of it. What can I take away? What's my takeaway so that I can carry on and because there's always a way, as Tony Robbins says, there's always a way. If one thing doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. So to me, it's not failure, right?
Yeah, right. It's a learning, right?
It's totally learning.
And it makes you up. It makes you who you are today, right? All those experiences.
Absolutely. Yeah. To have some of the tools in my tool belt that I have now. Not regret, but even as a mom, and in my younger days of being a fitness director and things, I wish I had some of the tools I have now.
Sure.
Just to have maybe approached situations maybe a little differently or that, but so grateful to have them now.
Yeah. I got it. So give me a couple books or something that you're reading or that you would recommend.
Oh gosh, what's so weird is in this time I have read more books in 5 years than I've ever read in my whole entire life.
She's on fire.
Totally. I mean, and audibles in your car.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love music, you guys. Anybody who knows me knows I love music. But I listen to books a lot. From The Alchemist, which was amazing, but yet could be for some at first, to Brene Brown.
Love it.
But then, there's fitness involved for me because that's my other, love and job.
Sure.
So I always, pop in some nutrition, and so it goes from one perspective to the other.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
So you have lots of interests.
I do.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, hey, we're just about out of time. So tell the people out here listening, if they want to get in touch with you and, work with you, where do they find you? What's the web address?
Well, I have two because I also personal train on the side, as most people do know in the Valley, and I am doing a little bit of teaching at Chief Fitness in Wenatchee here. So it's cleaningbelow-the-surface@gmail.com for the cleaning. However, you could reach me there, or it's Michele at inspireforlifecoaching.com. And now that I am more in the Valley than not, I have a pretty flexible schedule to be able to accommodate. So,
Great.
Yeah.
All right on. Okay, good. Well, thanks again so much for being on the show. I appreciate your time. It's fun to visit with you. And now, you know what to do. It's time to get out there, be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You do have something that this world needs, and I believe in you.